We're live. Happy Thursday night, everyone. Hi, Veronica.
What's up, Tori? How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. It's another Thursday night, and we have gathered here tonight to talk about emotional sobriety.
Yes, I think this is a very important topic. What? How do you feel about this topic?
I mean, I think that it's something that, most people are trying to attain, and everybody has like a different path to getting there and a different definition of like what it is.
Right.
So I think it's to each up to each individual. Me myself, I feel like it's something that I'm working towards all the time because things come up, and life happens, and just like you may not. Yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like it's something you're always working toward.
Yeah.
I'm always working towards.
I feel the same way. Like I feel that like nobody's recovery is perfect, so nobody's emotional sobriety is perfect, and that goes into recovery, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, personally, and we did a poll, we took a poll last night asking, kind of what your definition is of emotional sobriety and how do you obtain it. And there was some good answers. There's a lot of answers.
Yeah, I think people did a really good job at articulating, what emotional sobriety is. For example, like Dean said, to him, emotional sobriety relates strongly to emotional maturity and emotional balance. And I think that that's just a shortcut, like a very good definition of like what it is, and I think that that's, again, different for everyone. He wanted to say a bit more, but I think that got right to the point.
Well, I'm going to say hi to just a couple of people.
Yes, please.
Christine is here.
Hi.
Says it's super cold here in Woodward, Oklahoma. I'm sorry, I'm not jealous, Augustine. But I hope you are staying warm anyway. Flora's here from Yakima, Washington. Her sober date is 10/19/2004.
Awesome.
MG says good topic. Sandra says emotional sobriety is finding happiness within. And Chuck is here. He's throwing down some wisdom, and he says being fully human and acting like it.
What's up, Chuck? What's up? Thank you to everybody joining us. Yeah, it's definitely a very interesting topic that I always like exploring. I know you've written some different articles about it. So what are like some of the tips that you have for people to like figure what that is? Because some people have heard that term but don't know how to really implement that.
Well, I think, like when we are using or in our addiction or however long that period of time goes on, I mean, we constantly are stuffing negative, positive, whatever emotions down, right? So even if it's days ending in Y, right? Like that's when I use. So we're not feeling these things that come up. Someone pissed us off, we drink, we use. It's our birthday, we drink, we use. So like when we get sober, I think it's super, I mean, for me, I was an emotional wreck. All these emotions started pouring out, and I was happy and sad at the same time, and I was pissed off at everybody. And I mean, how was your experience like that? And wait, hold on. I'm cutting you off even though you didn't start talking. I think that, over time, like those emotions start to find a good balance and can kind of go up and down. But over time, we learn how to deal with these emotions in a way that doesn't detriment our recovery and handling these emotions like a mature person of society. I think that's what emotional sobriety is.
Yeah, because we get sober, like, when we're using it's like an emotional roller coaster. Yeah. So we're all over the place. So when there's sobriety involved, like you strive at least for an equilibrium or like, some evening out, and you do help yourself to sort of allow your neurotransmitters to sort of, rebuild themselves and heal. And like, that definitely has a lot to do with those mood swings and with, being emotionally sober. And I think that comes with some time, for sure. So that's definitely like what I think about. But if you guys are just joining us, we're talking about emotional sobriety. So let us know what that is for you and how you achieve that, like what you do to actually like implement that and make that happen in your daily life. Like let us know in the comments. What is something that you do like to try to achieve that? Like do you do something? Like what do you have to say?
I mean, for me, like I think that what I do is oh my God, I can't talk, is mindfulness, like taking a step back from everything and kind of reevaluating the situation without like blinders on. And instead of just like reacting to everything, kind of like I said, taking a step back, assessing the situation and thinking like before I speak.
Do you think one can achieve that in early sobriety, or do you just have to like write out what you're feeling?
I mean, listen, I'm no like emotional sobriety expert.
No. But like in conversation, like out of curiosity, I'm wondering.
I mean, I definitely think it's
doable if somebody says that as a goal, right? Like,
I think it depends on like what you're doing on a daily basis. If you are meditating or, participating in therapy or in a program or whatever. I mean, I think it's definitely easier to acclimate into like a well-balanced emotional state.
Yeah.
If you have like that type of support around you.
Right. And you don't have like environmental stressors and like things like, you're not being able to pay rent and like things, happening in life and consequences and things of that nature. So that also has to do with stuff. So
I'm gonna go to the comments.
Yeah, what are people saying?
Jeff has been commenting quite a bit. He says, hold on, his husband is in active addiction. He needs advice. He's been out for days. He just got home. He says, I know it might not be tonight's topic, but he needs help.
Yeah.
Jeff, you need to take care of yourself, first of all. What do you suggest, Veronica?
Yeah, for sure. Like that's what he needs to do and like get access to resources, whatever those may be, and get the support that, he needs first and foremost.
Don't like get a third party or someone else involved, like a professional or someone, because that's definitely not something that you want to address by yourself. Dean is here from Michigan.
What's up, Dean?
What's up, Dean? Dan says meditation is the key to emotional growth. I promise. What do you meditate, Veronica?
I do not. I'm not really good at it, but meditation has come up a lot, and it came up also in the poll. And Michelle said to me, emotional sobriety is being able to remain calm and even keel in all areas of life. What helps me the most is meditation. So meditation is a popular way, and not even popular, is an effective way to achieve that peace of mind and to sort of condition your central nervous system to be in that state. So like, it's good practice. I personally struggle with consistency. I can be like, oh, I'm going to start meditating, and I may do it for like 3 days, but like, I struggle with that. So, so I'm not going to sit here in front and act like I meditate, but, do you meditate? You probably do.
No. I mean, I like when someone says meditate, like I always think of like, sitting with my legs crossed and closing my eyes and
it is hard.
But I mean, like, I think meditation can be anything, like going for a walk or
it's true.
Listening to music. I mean, before I go to bed, or like as I'm falling asleep, I have Alexa on my dresser and I listen to meditation music, but I'm just going to sleep. I'm not really like, so that doesn't really count.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think meditation could be, a state of mind and where you sort of zone out and can sort of get out of your head for a second and can focus on something else. And that happens by like walking. When people work out, they sort of meditate. So there's different levels, I think, for sure. But people do struggle with like quieting the mind. And that's why it's like so intimidating, because most of us have short attention spans and sort of like are just like overwhelmed or have tried it and sort of, have stumbled through it. So I think it's definitely something worth trying and worth incorporating.
Can I just say, Oz is watching us from the gym right now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for tuning in. I mean, like, I know how it is like going to the gym and like just getting through that workout, powering through. So thank you for watching.
And he says physical activity is great for stress and fills time previously spent hanging out in bars. Emotional sobriety for me is not using alcohol to mask and confront life head on and sober.
It's so true. I think like that's another thing besides meditation that one can do is work out. That does release endorphins. I mean, there's so much research to back, the benefits of working out, especially for like mental health. And speaking of mental health, today is World Mental Health Day. So, there's a lot of stuff online today about, access to resources for mental health. But yeah, like it's, I don't know, like I definitely think it's something that it's worth like focusing on, like exercising as well, because it does naturally release endorphins and does something for you. And also, you stay in shape and you live longer, all the different reasons why it's good to work out. But, you look better, you feel better. So again, another thing I have trouble staying consistent with. So that's the gym. And yeah, but I think like even with yoga, like even if you're not like the rah gym type, like you could try doing yoga, which is more chill. And even then, like you can engage in some sort of meditation and some sort of like balancing out like your emotions as you're healing, an early recovery, or just, it's great to add it to however long you've been sober.
Right. I totally agree with you. I mean, there's all sorts. Go take a walk outside. If you have a dog, go walk your dog. There's all sorts of things. Let's see what else is coming up. Roger says pause is a huge thing I never saw coming, and that can definitely. And pause post-acute withdrawal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that can really like throw off your emotions. And kind of mess you up. So did you have that when you were?
No, I mean, I guess, honestly, I don't know. It was just the first year was such a like roller coaster for me. Yeah. Like, I don't even know if I did or not, because it was just so like, it was great, but like at the same time, it was so like up and down as it is. But I don't think so. Maybe I didn't, if I'm like thinking like, oh, I don't know if I did, because I know otherwise, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I agree with you. It's such a roller coaster.
So. I mean, I don't know, but like that's a thing. So I understand that coming up, as like a barrier to achieving emotional sobriety, experiencing the discomfort of like post-acute withdrawal. Like that is no joke, because forget how you feel emotionally, like physically, like you're experiencing symptoms. So like that is going to affect how you feel emotionally. So, you're sort of having to work extra hard. So that's definitely, that requires more work for sure.
Yeah. What else does the poll say?
Let's see. Let's go back. I mean, just again, people talking about meditation. People coming up, like just pretty much listing like their different viewpoints on it. Very long comment. So I do suggest people visit that thread, because I think a lot of people contributed a lot of experience into the comments.
Kenneth says work 10th step helps him to see what's going on. Yeah. I mean, definitely I think that can kind of assess your day, if you will.
Yeah, I definitely suggest that people check out the thread, because even people are commenting like loving these responses, so inspiring. And, you know, somebody else, Terry, said after reading all the comments, sobriety, loving oneself. So I think, you know, there's definitely, that thread is definitely worth reading. The comments are all very long, so I'm not even going to like attempt to read them anymore. But yeah, that is the topic tonight. Do you have any parting tips for emotional sobriety?
I mean, I would just say, you know, find a support network, you know, gain some perspective maybe. There's so many resources out there, either with us at Sober Nation or, you know, there's so many other resources online nowadays. Yeah, and find your support group, stay mindful and stay grounded, I guess.
Well, I think this was a great topic for like World Mental Health Day, because I think, you know, what we do experience when we don't have emotional sobriety is the opposite, which is anxiety, depression.
Yeah.
You know, we don't feel okay in our own bodies, kind of thing.
Right? We can relapse.
It's very, you know, unnerving to be, you know, on that side. And again, to have environmental stressors. So even as you are trying, you have things that are out of your control happening in your life. So it's definitely, you know, a challenge, but, you know, definitely could be achieved with some extra work.
Yeah. I mean, I think sometimes like kind of those emotional roller coasters that I had when I got sober were like harder than actually getting sober. Just because I don't know, I felt like everything.
You have the crutch or like,
Yeah, it was such a roller coaster. Oh my God, what do I do in this situation? You know, or
yeah, everything was such a big deal, and like we've talked before, it's like, you know, it's a year of firsts, like you're having your first everything, and yeah, it could definitely be a lot.
Yeah.
Definitely be a lot. So again, back to like depression and anxiety, you know, and being World Mental Health Day, like if you're struggling, like definitely like reach out for help. Do not isolate or like, you know, keep it to yourself. There's a lot of people that have been where you're at, and just a lot of resources available.
Yeah, and you can also email me, Tori at TORI at sobernation.com. You can go to our website. We have like hundreds and hundreds of blog articles about literally everything recovery, sobriety, mental health related under the sun. Hector just popped in from Los Angeles.
What's up, Hector?
Emotional sobriety for me means I surrender my ego. You know, when you're just dry, but when you achieve to control your ego, I feel one reaches emotional sobriety. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, no, that's great, because that's also another factor. And, you know, I just had a conversation with somebody and they pointed out like, oh, it's the ego, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I hadn't thought about that like in a minute, how like that side can take over and like motivate someone or myself and lose sight of like, you know, what I need to, you know, keep my focus on. So like, definitely, that's such a good comment, because that is something that we didn't touch on. So like definitely the ego can be something that can, you know, if we keep that in check, we can achieve, you know, we can help our chances of achieving emotional sobriety for sure.
Yeah, and even that's like another, you know, coping mechanism I think we pick up in our addiction, like putting the focus on someone else, or you know, so we don't have to think about ourselves and what our issues are.
So. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Accountability, like not at all. Like just like pick and choose, right? Like sort of that. So,
and I mean, and when we get sober, we have to literally go through everything. So,
yeah.
Kurt says only powerless after the first drink / use. Everything else is perspective. Third step, all day, air day. Right. He didn't. I just added that. It said every day.
No, that works. That like, also works and helps people like achieve that balance, and leaning on that. So that's awesome that that's working for him,
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, Veronica, what else? Do you have anything else?
No, I think that's it. I think we sort of touched on like how to really achieve emotional sobriety, like what it is. So I think we sort of touched on everything. Again, people not isolating and seeking support. So I think we're good as long, everybody is good in the comments too.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's just hi. Crescentia's here. She's here every week. Yeah, I'm so happy you guys are all here tonight. And if you guys are watching the replay, thank you for watching.
Yes. Feel free to join the conversation and comment what emotional sobriety is for you. So we are here every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. So we'll be back next week. Yes. And we have a great weekend.
Yeah. And have a good night, everyone. We'll see you next week.